All right, today we have with us Mr. Orlando Brissett, who is the center manager at the New Forest Training Center. And Mr. Brissett is going to be taking you through the practical of how to do grafting. All right, Mr. Brissett?
Okay, yes. Good afternoon again. Today, I'm going to take you through the basic steps in grafting plants. The plants that we have here today is jackfruit, right? These are potted plants, but that does not limit you to grafting on any other material, mango tree, jackfruit tree, any other material plant that you want to circumpose. Now, what you need is a roll cut and a budding knife. You're also gonna need wrapping paper, budding tape, or plastic to bind the sand to the budwood. Now, I'm gonna take one sand from this plant. So I'm going to, the sand consists of the top. So what I'm going to do, use my roll cut, remove the sand, and also I'm going to remove the leaves. Don't want any leaf. If you leave leaves on it, it's gonna drag the process. So what you do, remove all the leaves, right? And right here are they known as the axillary buds. At the top is the terminal bud, right? Terminal bud is at the top, and right here we have the secondary or the axillary buds that is gonna emerge. So now I'm gonna cut the other top, remove this sand, remove the leaves. One of the good things about this potted plant, right? If the sand does not merge with the rootstock, it still can grow again, and you still can do another process of grafting. Ensure that when you're using your sharp knife, you set it this way, and you're going to remove both sides, right? Then what you're going to do, the length of where you remove the cambium from each side, you're going to measure it. And the process, the process I'm doing now is known as the wedge graft. There are many other different grafts, techniques you can use: the splice graft, the side graft, the veneer graft. But today I'm just gonna do the wedge graft. I'm going to make a slit down the middle, and as you can see, the conditions are right because there you have the sap or the cambium that is flowing. This is what you need from the plant. So I'm going to insert the sand, right? And if it is that the sand or the budwood is bigger than the rootstock, what you tend to do is put it to one side, ensure that it is even at one side. This is where it will be, the unit will be joined, right? Then I'm going to get my plastic. I'm going to bind the sand onto the budwood, right? And you're going to go all the way up. all the way up to the top. After 7 days, you will see changes start to take place. Right, I'm going to get a slightly smaller piece. Just to bind the first one together. Right, and you're going to get a smaller plastic bag, smaller bag. Right, and what you're going to do, you're going to place it over the grafted plant, and you're going to tie it around to secure it. After 7 days, you start to see the terminal bud pushing out. After 40 days, right, if the union is successful, that is when you remove the budding tape altogether. Right, so that is for your wedge graft. I'm going to demonstrate another technique, which is the side graft. Remove all the leaves. Right, now you're going to remove one side. If you notice, when I do the wedge graft, I remove both sides of the cambium. At this point with the side graft, you're going to remove only one side. Right? Then measure. Careful. As you go along, then you're going to put the side that you have removed place it here. Then you're going to repeat the binding process. And the same process apply in terms of time. After 40 days, once union is successful, then you will have a beautiful grafted plant. So that is your basic tips today on grafting, right? As I said, you can graft mangoes, apples, nestberry, most fruit trees, right? You can graft. And the purpose of grafting is to get the same variety of plant and to continue the process, right? So that is the basic reason why we graft, and it's simple as that, right? And remember, when you're doing grafting, It must be done around the cool time, between December to March. That is when it is the success rate is higher. It can be done anytime throughout the year, but the success rate of the union joining together is a cool period between December and March. Right? So if there's any question besides.
All right, do you have any questions, guys?